Well, boys and girls, we are in for a treat. So we are going to be using GoPoxy Epoxy Grout. Now I've used this stuff before, but I actually reached out to them and said, would you mind sponsoring me for a video? Supply me with the epoxy for this one video and or for this one bathroom, should I say, and I'll do a video for you. So they followed through, sent me some epoxy, and I can't wait to get started on this. Let me show you how it works. So first things first, you want to make sure that all your tiles are nice and clean and dry. You don't want any of the adhesive showing through because that will be a nightmare. So we're going to be doing the floor and the walls. And I'm going to be able to get this done over the space of 2 days. So we're going to start off with the walls. And first things first, you need to put the wax on. So once it's all clean and dry, as I said, get your little wax. It comes with a pad. Make sure you take this off, because I remember the first time I used this, I didn't take that off and I thought that that was the wax, and it's not, that's just a cover. So pro tip, make sure you take that off. You want to wax all where the joints are. So you get your wax like so. There's plenty on there. You want to just straight down like so. And that is it. Do the same for every single joint, and we'll get back to you in a second. And it's just that easy. Didn't stop recording, and I know I sped that up just for the video for you guys, but I'm still on 2 minutes. That didn't take very long at all. So an entire wall done, less than 2 minutes. It will make sure that all the adhesive, or the epoxy, should I say, is all mixed correctly. So for the walls, we're going to go for a light ivory, and on the floors, we're going to go for a sand colour. So dead easy to use. No need to pierce anything. Just take it off there. It's got a couple of little plugs in there. Special little cap just to prevent anything from skinning over. And that just goes on like so. And then with the GoPoxy kit, it's a double cartridge gun. You make sure that slots in there. Not like that. Make sure that that is slotted in there. Press the trigger, push it back. And then what you want to make sure you do is make sure the end of this, as you start pushing it through, how satisfying does that look? So as it's mixing through, just that first little bit, what I like to do, just get rid of that first little bit. And leave that to one side. And it's a decent gun. As soon as you press the trigger, it stops coming out. Now when you're actually applying GoPoxy, you have to make sure that you push right into the joints. You need to fill those joints up. So I'll start off down here. As you push through, make sure it starts oozing out. Just ever so slightly. I'll do a close-up in a second. So as you can see, I've just done a horizontal joint and a vertical joint. That's what I meant the first time around. And as you can see, it's all a bit of a mess at the minute, but fear not, because they give you a few different tools. So I'll show you the first one that I like to use, which is the ball on a stick. So all you have to do is run along like so. Now you're going to say to me, what happens when you get to a joint like this? And it's just that easy. Look how nice and clean that joint is. Now, the excess, you don't worry about. You do not worry about the excess until tomorrow. So the best time I have found to do this grout stuff is right before you leave for the evening. So usually when you're doing a bathroom, you usually end up coming back the next day anyway. The best time I've found is to wait until an evening, get everything cleaned up, and come back the next day, and this will peel off in such a satisfying way. So, the exciting part. So what Epoxy Grout, GoPoxy, excels at, in my opinion, is mitered corners. So you know how you'd normally have your tile trim. On here, we're actually going to have mitered corners. So the way you go about it is obviously make sure everything's clean. Get your wax and just wax up as normal. Make sure you don't get wax inside the joint, otherwise it won't stick to the joint, obviously. So just go around like so. And then you'd put your epoxy in as normal. So the tea, just put it in as normal, and then, this is my favourite tool for doing this. Kind of looks like a finger, but you want to be using the inside of this. So, as you go in there, push right in, and just smooth it off. So as you can see, use this tool to go along all of the corners here. You can see this little bit here. That is going to keep appearing no matter where you do this, right? However, this grout, once it's set, you can use a Stanley just to shape it like the rest of it, and trust me, you'll never even know it's there. So we'll come back tomorrow, we'll peel all this off, and we'll do this as well, and I'll show you exactly how all of this looks. Trust me, doesn't look amazing at the minute, but I know it's going to look really, really good. Right, so as I've finished basically doing all the walls in the bathroom, I'm done with this colour now. And you can actually save the rest of this, because this is basically 3/4 full. So all you have to do is take the nozzle off. Unfortunately, the nozzle is going to be wasted. However, what you have to do, make sure that those tabs go inside and basically plug up the end. And that way, all that doesn't go to waste, like you would waste with normal grout. Now, I'm not saying that this is cheaper by any means. However, wasted material is money lost, right? And just as a side note, it is now 20 to 6, and this has already started to set. So I purged this out right at the beginning of this video, and it's already starting to set. So that will be ready in the next couple of hours, but actually I would recommend leaving it overnight and coming back to it. So my job now is to do the floor, and of course with every box you get a new nozzle, and we'll do exactly the same with this. So this is sand. Take the nozzle off of this. Put that on. And again, make sure that that slots into there. Push forward, and then again, I'm going to let you watch this because this is quite satisfying, watching that go down there. To me, that's really satisfying. And we'll just squirt out a tiny little bit on there. That's enough. We'll leave that now. And we'll now do the floor. So that's it, floor completed, and we will come back tomorrow. We'll take the excess off of the floor and off the wall. So, just turned up this morning, we've got the satisfying part of pulling this off now. So you don't need any special tools. They do actually give you, if you buy the kit, they give you a scraper, but you don't need it. It comes off so easily and it's so satisfying. You just get one edge up and it just peels off. And look at how beautiful that grout joint is now. So I'm going to get on with doing the rest of this bathroom. It's going to be a beautiful finish. It's going to be so easy. So that's it, bathroom finished. Used GoPoxy epoxy grout. Nice rainfall shower head. The customer's going to paint the ceilings and the walls. Only toilet, vanity unit, mirror, radiator. I made a mistake with the radiator, and the radiator that we got was $450, and that's a 300, and it just doesn't fit in that space, so had to go down to a 300 for that. Spoke to the customer, they're fine with it, and yeah, not a bad little bathroom. I hate bathrooms though, and I would much rather do a kitchen. Bathrooms are cramped, claustrophobic. Well, I'm not claustrophobic, but it makes you feel claustrophobic. Yeah, I'm not a bathroom guy. That's that. I'll get that stuck down before I leave. But yeah, I'm happy with it. No leaks, no drama. First time fitting an overflow tap. So that is the tap and the overflow, which is pretty cool. Got the extractor fan on a timer as well. Oh, that was the mirror. So when you turn the lights on, the bathroom extractor overruns, which is what you want to prevent damp in the room. So if you've got the trickle vents and the windows closed, you still got steam in the room. You want to get it out as soon as possible. So done all that for them, and for the shower as well. Behind here there's some isolation valves for the customer as well, because that's what they asked for. But yeah, not a bad little bathroom.